Anyways, you were gonna invite Louis Bong. Can you do that? Because I couldn't find him in the audience yet.
Yes. Let me see if I can find him.
Uh, Meanwhile, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Vadim. I'm in charge of basically business development and growth at StealthEX. Today, we have an amazing guest, PepeCoin, not to be mistaken with the Pepe, the token. I'll leave to our guest to introduce himself. He is one of the founders of the PepeCoin. He's Zodiac. And yeah, pleasure having you guys tonight or today, whatever the time zone you guys in. But yeah, for those who are unfamiliar with the format, we will go over the pre-picked questions from Twitter. And then after that, we will open up the chat for the live ones. The whole thing should be about 1 hour, give or take. And for those who will be missing the session, we will be posting recaps afterwards, both audio and text, so everyone will be able to catch up. Oh, Lewis, there we go. No worries. We usually wait around 5 minutes so we can get all the people in.
Awesome. It's a pleasure meeting you all. So
Likewise.
thanks so much for doing this.
Oh, absolutely. We love to engage with projects, that we carry on our platform. It's always interesting for everyone to learn new stuff about different networks and protocols and whatnot. So without further ado, could you guys please introduce yourself and kind of briefly introduce the project to the audience?
My name is Zodiac. I'm the co-founder of the PepeCoin blockchain. So there are a few Pepe coins. So I'm sure you've heard of Pepe on Ethereum. There's also the original Pepe coin, which came out in 2016. That project actually is not on its own blockchain anymore. It migrated to Ethereum in 2023. And so we're really the only blockchain for Pepe. And we released last year on January 30th. We did a fair launch. And we are a code fork, not a hard fork, but a code fork of Dogecoin. And we are merge mineable with Litecoin and Dogecoin. So we have been building up a community on Reddit and Discord and also Telegram for the past year and a half. And we are growing pretty massive. We've got a community of about just under 50,000 users across all our platforms. So yeah, it's been awesome. Liz Bong?
Hey everyone. My name's Louis Bong. I'm just some random dude that found PepeCoin randomly, and they just so happened to allow me to, for some reason, join in and be part of the fun. I started off as a community member originally, and worked my way into doing some development projects. And me and Zor just kind of been working side by side, and just things here and there. And then I got into the social media stuff, and it's just one thing at a time. I don't really have a title. I'm just going to put it out there. I'm just a swing man here. So, but I like frog money, and that's pretty much it.
Fascinating.
Yes. Sorry, I'll just add to that real quick is PepeCoin has two founders, myself and also my brother. And then all the team members and pretty much everyone who works on the project is they're just community members. So we just wanted to keep it simple, like Dogecoin. We didn't want to have like any insiders or anything like that, have like VC funding or anything. So we're just a community, basically, a community coin. So sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, no worries. I was just gonna say that I always love to hear from people who are, genuinely become involved with the project, not by, applying for a job or not by, inside or anything, just basically being a community member, and then, you just getting involved more and more, whether, you hold more, you interact with the community, being active. And it's always great to hear how kind of that becomes more than, just a community membership. You become actually involved and an active part of it. So it's definitely love to hear that from Lewis. Anyways, without further ado, let's start with the questions. First one in. How does PepeCoin network differentiate itself from Mimi tokens by offering real utility or infrastructure beyond community hype? And what role does PEP play in that ecosystem?
Yeah. So PepeCoin, it's a layer one blockchain. It's just like Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Dogecoin. It's on its own chain. It was fairly launched. It's mineable. It has very low transaction fees comparable to Dogecoin. And then it's also, like I mentioned before, it's also merge mineable with Litecoin and Dogecoin. And what this means is miners can mine Litecoin and Dogecoin and PepeCoin at the same time at no additional energy cost. And because we're tapping into that already existing ecosystem, we've had a lot of Litecoin and Dogecoin community members that have found us just because they noticed that they started receiving PepeCoin in their pool.
Interesting. That's actually and mind if I ask, what would be the percentage of people who actually got involved with the project just because they saw it being available through the pool?
Yeah, it's hard to know for sure, but I know we've had someone like on YouTube that uh, they make YouTube videos about PepeCoin, and they noticed that they started getting PepeCoin on their pool, and we've also had a lot of Litecoin community members that have been very interested in PepeCoin, and actually we flew out to the Litecoin Summit in 2025, and we got to meet a lot of the people in the kind of the script is the algorithm in the script community. So we got to meet like people from the Litecoin community. We met the people from MyDoge, which they make the MyDoge wallet for Dogecoin. And so it's kind of like a broader community because like a lot of the miners, we kind of see that these chains kind of can work together, because miners are mining all of us. So yeah, it's very cool.
Interesting, great. No, it's fascinating, and especially people who are genuinely interested and involved with communities such as Litecoin or Dogecoin. They're a bit more old schoolish, and we don't see that many new layer ones popping up these days, especially with all the EVM layer two hype going on these days, the RWAs, whatnot. So it's definitely a standout these days, in my opinion. Anyways, let's continue with the questions. Is PepeCoin EVM compatible or does it operate on a custom blockchain? How easy is it for developers to build or port dApps onto PepeCoin?
Yeah, so like I mentioned before, PepeCoin, it operates on its own proof of work blockchain. It's 100% proof of work. There is no proof of stake at all. And we are committed to always being 100% proof of work. An interesting thing is that PepeCoin is one of only 5 blockchains that are being integrated into the Bitcoin computer project. And the other chains are Bitcoin, Litecoin, Dogecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. And you can actually check that out at bitcoincomputer.io. But what that does is it adds smart contracts to PepeCoin with the JavaScript language. So instead of Solidity, it's JavaScript. It's very interesting. The other thing too is I'll just mention, and I don't know a whole lot about this, but I do know that Dogecoin recently from the MyDoge team, they had an improvement proposal which adds EVM compatibility to Dogecoin via Doge OS. You may have heard about that recently. But because we're a fork of Dogecoin, that kind of technology could possibly be integrated into PepeCoin in the future. And I believe that adds the functionality of being able to basically drop in Solidity smart contracts into Dogecoin, which is interesting.
Yeah, for sure. Super interesting. And the whole Bitcoin computer, I've briefly heard about it, did not dig it whatsoever, but enabling JS instead of Solidity could bring a lot of new developers in, right? Because it's a more mainstream Web 2, traditional language.
Yeah.
Definitely a very interesting way to approach the, adaptability of the chain itself. Alrighty, another question in. What role does the PepeCoin core wallet play in the ecosystem, and how user-friendly is it for the new crypto users?
Yeah, so basically PepeCoin Core it's a wallet, but it's also a node on the network. And what's interesting actually is that PepeCoin it has last I checked last night it was 2,200 nodes on the PepeCoin network, which is one of the largest cryptocurrency networks like period. If you go look at comparable cryptocurrencies like really big established cryptocurrencies, um, a lot of them do not have that many nodes on their network. Um, and you can actually check out in real time a node map, which is pepecoin-nodes.com. You can see all of the nodes on the network. They're basically nodes all over the world. We have nodes like in Australia and China and Japan. Just it's crazy. Um, so there's that that functionality that performs as being just a part of a decentralized node on the network, and then also PepeCoin Core is a wallet. It's since it's a fork of Dogecoin, it works very very similar to Dogecoin Core, and so what we try to do is, and one of the reasons why we forked Dogecoin is because we really want to lean into that like familiarity so that people when they use PepeCoin, they're already kind of familiar with how it works because they're familiar with Dogecoin. So in that way, like developers and also users kind of already know how everything works. So that was the idea behind forking from Dogecoin because it has already an established ecosystem, but also familiarity with users and developers.
Interesting. I just opened up the map and it does seem like a hefty amount, over 2,200 at the moment. And yeah, it's pretty much active everywhere in Africa, even crazy. Some in Mongolia. That's wild. Fascinating.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Awesome. Alrighty. The next question in. How does relying on Litecoin/Doge ASIC hash power risk mining centralization? And if so, how is it mitigated?
Okay, so it doesn't really risk centralization, and basically the reason for this is that miners they're mining basically a lot of chains for the cost of one, and so what this does is it splits their risk. So if you think like if you're mining just Dogecoin, you would be very you'd be you have a lot of risk, like if Dogecoin were to go down or if Dogecoin were to go up, right? That affects your mining operation. Whereas if you're mining like multiple chains at the same time, like Litecoin, Dogecoin, and PepeCoin, then you've kind of almost diversified your portfolio of chains that you're mining. And the advantage to that though is that because you're merge mining, you're actually applying 100% of your hash rate to each chain. So long as it's profitable, they're more likely to be mining on script. And due to how flexible merge mining is, you can kind of think of it as like each chain having its own separate community of miners. So like right now, I think last I checked, I think it was like 2.5 petahashes of hash rate was on the PepeCoin network. And that is basically all the script miners are basically mining PepeCoin, and then all the script miners are also mining Dogecoin. It's like 100% of the mining community is pointing their hash rate at each individual network, just due to the way that the mining the merge mining algorithm works. And so the other thing is while merge mining does have a concept of like parent and child chains, it's actually very flexible and it allows any chain to be a parent chain. So there's no real heavy dependency on like Litecoin, right? You could have PepeCoin, even though it's like the smallest chain out of the three in terms of market cap, you could actually have PepeCoin be the parent chain, and you could have Dogecoin be the child chain. Litecoin doesn't actually support Oxpow, but there's nothing stopping it from like it can't be a child chain just because it doesn't have the Ox block functionality built into Litecoin Core, but there's nothing stopping them from adding that to it. But yeah, merge mining is actually very flexible, which makes the risk of that centralization very, very low.
Cool. So definitely giving the miners themselves some more uh, flexibility in terms of what they can pick and choose. And yeah, the diversification is definitely good. It can be bad, right, when you don't put all the coins in one basket, so to speak. So that's definitely an upside there. All right.
Right.
Continuing on the mining situation, beyond mining and fast transactions, what are the current or planned use cases that justify building directly on the PepeCoin Layer 1? Is there a vision for DApp ecosystem, DeFi integration, or NFT support?
Yeah, there actually is a vision. So Matt Fury is the creator of the Pepe the Frog meme. He's been making a lot of NFTs on Ethereum, and one of the things that we think would be really awesome is if he began to make NFTs like on the PepeCoin blockchain. We think that would be really, really cool, and he could sell them for PepeCoin. we think that that's very, very cool. Very cool concept. And then the other thing is like the original, like I mentioned before, the original PepeCoin from 2016. They've migrated their project to Ethereum. But one of the things that they're doing is they're building like a lot of apps. They're building like a lot of Pepe apps, and we think that it'd be very cool to have them integrate some of the stuff that they're building onto our chain. So, for example, one of the things that they built is like this application called Pepe Paint, and basically it works just like Microsoft Paint. Kind of similar to that, where you can kind of make whatever you want in this like paint application, and then in the application you can actually mint it on Ethereum. And so what we think would be really cool is if they minted those NFTs on the PepeCoin blockchain. And in that way, it kind of allows the two projects to collaborate in a way. And one of the things that we're trying to do with our project is to kind of get all of the different Pepe coins on these different chains and stuff to kind of all come together and basically collaborate and become one core community, a Pepe community. And so that's like kind of the long-term vision. And so those are just a couple of things that we think would be very cool with like NFTs.
Yeah, that does sound pretty cool. And it's great that you guys treating other Pepe assets out there, Pepe communities, not as necessarily competition, but more as the opportunity to collaborate and kind of bring everything under one roof. Just a side question from me. Have you actually chatted with those communities yet? Because I'd be interesting what they think about it, and if you know the original Pepe community wants to kind of do that umbrella kind of thing.
Yeah, so we actually did reach out to them. We reached out to them last year, and a couple of times. We haven't really proposed that yet because we're not really in a position where we're established enough in terms of like the I guess like we don't have like an NFT marketplace or anything like that yet. But we did reach out to them and talk, and they are very friendly, so they're not like too antagonistic or anything like that. And I think that it's important for us that we want to develop those relationships. And also like the Pepe ETH community, they have started to like recently warm up to us and kind of realize that, hey, these guys, you know, they're serious and they're trying to build like a serious chain, you know, as much as a meme coin can be serious. And so we're really like our goal is to just like reach out to not just the teams, but also the community members of those projects and kind of say, hey, you know, guys, we've got a very cool project here. And, you know, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to, you're welcome to join our community and kind of just have fun and build with us. And so, yeah, that's kind of like our vision is to kind of get everyone together and say, hey, guys, let's build like one massive community around Pepe.
Awesome. That does sound very compelling. Because right, we've all seen those assets that come up after, you know, a successful coin is out there, and then you see like dozen of rip-offs that bring no value, no utility. They just targeting for people to mistakenly buy them, whatnot. I don't know. There's a lot of that in the space. Definitely a lot of bad actors. So I can totally see how the established communities were kind of skeptical, early on because, right, just because of just we are, I guess, collectively as the industry, we are so used to having so many bad actors in the space, so it's just like you kind of have to be skeptical regardless.
Right. Yeah.
Alrighty, we have a couple more questions left before we can open up for the live ones. Community members have expressed concerns about liquidity and the need for more exchange listings and increased accessibility. Can you share your roadmap for securing listings on major exchanges like Kraken, and how are you addressing liquidity challenges to support PepeCoin's growth?
Yeah, so we don't have any specific listing details to share right now, but our focus is basically on building genuine relationships, and that includes both publicly and also privately, whether that be with StealthEX, Alchemy Pay, or most recently Kraken. And we just believe that making it more easy and intuitive to buy PepeCoin, that's really what's going to support PepeCoin's long-term growth. So our focus has just been on really building kind of like an ecosystem of convenience. That's what I like to call it, to make buying PepeCoin easy. Because like one of the problems when you try and bootstrap your own layer one blockchain is that, you can enter a contract address just about anywhere. And so when you make a token, you can open that up and I mean, I haven't used MetaMask, but I imagine you can just open up and drop in your contract address and off you go. But there's nothing like that for layer one blockchains. And you kind of have to reach out and have yourself listed on these different services manually. And you have to, we're doing it in such a way where, these listings are kind of synergizing with each other. You get on a swapper, you get on like an on-ramp, and then you get on a wallet which supports that on-ramp. And kind of, by doing that, it creates it creates like convenience for the user. So when they download that wallet and they go to use it, they're not even thinking like about not being able to swap within that wallet because we point them to that wallet and then off they go. The swapper is right there built in. So it's just we're really focused on building that convenience to improve the user experience. So
I just want to step in real quick, and one of the biggest things I think too that I was attracted to is just trying to be having fun with it and trying to find different ways to just engage the community, include the community in every part of our process. But yeah, again, the biggest thing here at the end of the day is we're a meme at the end of the day. We wanna just have fun, and I think that's the our greatest superpower in all of this.
Yeah, no, it's a very important point when it comes to meme coins in general, is that people treating them too seriously, people dumping their savings and all the, absolutely unreasonable. It's just like fun aspect of the meme coins kind of go away and people just treat it entirely different. They treat it like a serious stock asset, and it's definitely, well, while it definitely has value, and there's been many cases where people got very rich of meme coins, but there has also been very many probably more cases where people just got on a hype train, unknowingly dumped their savings into something. They did not have fun. They just, so it's definitely important to that. That's a very good point, and I mean, I've been involved with various meme coin communities, and I've definitely seen those side events and just like being there. And just, well, this right here, well, people having fun. No one is taking it seriously. Everyone is just chilling, networking, and then you go to some other. And then it's just like people being super serious, like I'm feeling like I'm pitching $1 million idea to investment fund or something. So it's definitely a huge point, and I'm really thankful you brought it up because it's definitely an important one for sure. That being
Oh yeah.
that being said, sorry, I'll just finish real quick. It's not saying that you shouldn't treat meme coins seriously, but you still fun and kind of making sure that fun stays somewhere within the scope of the project is definitely important.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just, we welcome everyone at this point, really. We just went, again, everyone to have fun, obviously be a part of the community and, just have fun with the frog community and trying to make our best, our best shots here, right, with the frog bunny. So, yeah.
Cool, great. Yeah, and as Zodiac pointed out, convenience aspect is definitely very, very big these days. I remember back in the day, in order to get some niche coin, you'd have to go through so many hoops. You had to breach several times. You'd lose with slippage or not. But now you can just go to StealthEX pretty much and swap your Bitcoin or whatever you want to Pepe, for example, right? It's definitely important to build that convenience, and with fiat on ramping, it's also very, very big to onboard new users. Anyways, continuing on with the questions, we have two more left. With security tied to Litecoin and Dogecoin's hash rate, what happens if either of those networks undergo a major upgrade or move away from their current mining models? Is PepeCoin network insulated from such risks, or does it rely heavily on their continued structure?
Yeah, while it's true that PepeCoin does rely on these other chains, the same could be said about Litecoin or Dogecoin. You can kind of think of merge mining as like this symbiotic relationship, whereby working together, the security of all of the chains is greater than any individual chain would be able to accomplish alone. And what miners really benefit from receiving more coins for the same hash rate, and chains benefit by gaining just like an enormous hash rate from all the miners that are, interested in not just mining one chain, but getting the advantage of mining all of these chains all at once. They're, kind of willing to invest more. At least that's the idea, is that they're willing to invest a lot more money because they're receiving more mining rewards for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And you already touched upon this a little bit earlier. And also, my guess, security would be a lot better than a single one, right? And, kind of looking at what's happening with Monero right now with the 51% attack or whatever you want to call it, that would be much harder if you incorporate that you have to, do that triple times over, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's a good point as well. I think that, our hash rate, the other thing too, that's really awesome about merge mining is like our hash rate, like I said before, it's something like 2.5 petahashes. Like it is extremely secure. And what's cool about it is you can hook into that ecosystem like on day one. As soon as we activated merge mining, our hash rate just shot through the roof and the chain was secure, and it's been running like clockwork. So it is, it's actually one of the most secure chains. Even though it's a meme coin, it's one of the most secure chains in crypto right now.
Yeah, that's great to hear. It's definitely a very interesting way of approaching, layer one. Uh, Not just doing it entirely standalone, but just kind of joining that this mining family, so to speak, right? And you kind of get all the benefits, and it benefits everybody as well, the miners and the users, etc. Alrighty, let's get some live questions in. There's one more left, but it's pretty much, I believe we've kind of covered that already. Let's pick somebody who has been here since the very beginning. I think this person has been here. Professor Morty, adding you to the speaker. Professor, you can speak now. You have to unmute yourself, though. Yes, there you go.
How do you allow users to participate in governance? What kind of mechanism do you allow for governance? And I'm a developer, so do you offer grants or resources for me to build on Bitcoin network?
Sorry, it's very hard to
Yeah,
understand. It's
sorry about that. Is there any way you can maybe type that in the chat if you can't adjust your mic?
I'm audible. Could you get me? I,
It's a bit better, yes.
yeah, so I just wanted to know How do you involve users in governance of your PepeCoin network? And what kind of mechanism do you have? And what resources, both grants and docs, do you have for developers to build for on your network?
Okay, good question. So as far as governance goes, we use kind of like a similar model as Dogecoin does. We don't have like an on-chain voting system or anything like that, but what we do is, like I said, there's like two founders, and the rest of it, like the majority of the team, I think there's like 10 team members or 8 team members or something like that. Are they're all community members. So the coin is basically ran by the community. We take feedback from the community into account in basically everything that we do. So we basically, we reach out to our community. I mean, have votes, different things like that, to ask the community, like, kind of get a feel for what they're thinking in terms of like any kind of big changes. And then just kind of base what we do off of that. Right now, a lot of the stuff that we're doing is kind of listings and kind of getting everything off of the ground. But in the future, it may be, improvement protocols or whatever. But it kind of follows the same structure as Dogecoin in that way. And then the second question, I don't remember what the second question was.
I think it was about developer resources.
Oh, developer resources. Yes. So because PepeCoin is a fork of Dogecoin, actually a lot of and this is actually, again, one of the reasons why we forked from Dogecoin, is because there is an enormous ecosystem of tools and software out there for Dogecoin. And with minimal changes to that software, you can actually adapt them for PepeCoin. Documentation also is available for Dogecoin, which would apply to PepeCoin as well. So one of the things that we would like to do in the future, it's kind of like on our future plans for PepeCoin.org, is to add extensive documentation for developers. We're not quite there yet, but that's something that we're planning to do in the future.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor. Let's get some more in. If you want to get someone in, let me know. I'm just kind of almost randomly picking, just trying to find someone who has been here since early. I think this guy has been here. Juke, JUK, adding you as a speaker.
Hey, yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. My question is, what's your business revenue model, and how do you plan to achieve profitability in a volatile market?
You said, what's our business model and how do we plan to achieve profitability? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So one of the things that we're doing is because we would really prefer not to have like a big like war chest of PepeCoin, and instead, because like I said, our PepeCoin is fair launch. It was fairly launched, and so there isn't like a huge war chest of PepeCoin that the team just owns, and as like part of like the foundation. And what we're doing is, in order to create income streams, is we're using kind of like affiliate commissions. So we have like affiliate commissions on MEXC, on StealthEX, on a lot of these different platforms that we're using, and we're using that to kind of create income in order to like allow us to, to actually purchase more listings, and in the future buy anything that we need to do, like marketing wise or advertising or whatever it may be, to in order to advance the project forward. And ideally, we're also in addition to that, we're also accepting community donations for some of these listings that we're getting on. But in the future, we really would like to get to the point where these affiliate commissions kind of replace the need for those donations, such that we will not need to ask for any donations at all, and we will be able to just take advantage of the commissions that we have set up in our ecosystem. So that's kind of where we're at with that. And ideally, those commissions will be large enough that we'll be able to purchase like everything that we need. So like in terms of like just pushing the ecosystem forward.
Yeah, and a huge shout out to the community members. Like our community members are amazing. They're like super accepting. Like I am super annoying with trying to get people to do things, and they're open arms, ready to go. We have a group and of what we like to call Ribbit Raiders. They are awesome. Like they show up to anything and everything that we need. And if you want to become a part of the Ribbit Raiders, just come join our Discord because again, we're just getting started.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
uh,
absolutely. Thank you very much.
yeah. And actually, something very cool that just happened is one of the things that we're doing is we're trying to get on Kraken, which is not easy to do. But what we did was recently we we put a billboard up right in front of their headquarters that says "Got Pepe Coin." You see like the "Got Milk" ads. It says "Got Pepe Coin?" ? And there's a big Pepe on the billboard, and it's right in front of their headquarters. You can actually see it if you go to our Twitter page. We've got it pinned to the top of the page, and that was actually funded by community donations, which is very, very cool. Lewis
Yeah, we're
Kwong
just
kind of
we're
ran
we're
that.
just trying to be different, like honestly, and I think different and fun. That's kind of the message I'm trying to constantly, throw across to the community and to everyone. Different and fun it's if you can make them laugh, you can go places. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I was about to ask about that billboard. Can you give us a backstory about it besides you guys wanting to get on Kraken? That's very interesting in my opinion.
Yeah, that's all Lewis Kwong.
Sometimes I just get these random ideas of, we had a billboard actually out in Vegas, and it was super, super awesome. Like, so we had a lot of good feedback, and then just randomly, I was just like, huh, I wonder, if we can do this. So I'm looking, and their headquarters isn't really, it's in Wyoming, and there's not a lot of digital real estate out there, but I managed to find one billboard out there, and I just was like, I wonder what would work for this. And then it just came. I don't know. I was just sitting there. I was like, oh, I remember that Got Milk commercial. It's like, so then I found the one meme, and I was like, dude, this is it. And then, yeah, we just chatted, with the group, and then the community they saw it and they lost it, and just, I don't know. I like building stories and just out of randomness, and just sometimes things pop into my head, and I'm like, I don't shy down from things. I kind of just run with it. And, having a community that supports me being able to run with it is like a dream come true, because I can't believe they're allowing me to do this, and I think it's hilarious.
No, but it's also great. It's like this type of marketing always hits right because no one really puts billboards across Kraken, especially in Wyoming. I don't expect billboard placement to be there. Hefty price, for example, like Vegas one that you did, because this is definitely a pretty desolate area, and they probably headquartered there due to the tax reasons. Because why else would they be there? So it's definitely a great story in my opinion.
Thanks, man.
All right, let's get some more questions in before they start repeating themselves. Mr. Maher, adding you as a speaker. You can speak now. You have to unmute yourself. There's a little microphone thingy on the left bottom side of your device. Looks like some technical. Oh, there we go.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
My question is, can you share details on the 2025 roadmap for PepeCoin, especially regarding new future or exchange listing?
Sorry, I missed that. It's a little hard for me to hear.
Can you share details on the 2025 roadmap for PepeCoin, especially regarding new future or exchange listing?
Roadmap, Zord, is the roadmap for 2025. And I guess any type of future listings or anything like that.
Yeah, I think we're like we kind of operate very like agile. So as opportunities come up, we basically are hopping on those fairly quickly, and so we don't have a very like rigid roadmap. I actually am not a huge fan of roadmaps unless they're for like technical implementations. But when we have an opportunity that comes up, we're basically reaching out. And the other thing too is that like we're always reaching out and trying to establish relationships, like I was mentioning before. So when we when we hit up like a certain service or whatever, we're trying to not only get on that service, but we're also trying to like get to know the people behind those services and ask do you guys know anyone? Do can you get us in touch with anyone else? Because we're not really, like I said before, we're not really insiders into the community, and so we're bootstrapping our own blockchain, but also creating relationships with all kinds of different services and platforms, and so we're just trying to kind of work our way in, I guess. And so it's really hard to put concrete things on a roadmap because it's just the opportunities are changing every day. That's really the reality of it.
Here's the greatest thing about it too, about with this approach, is that it's not just us doing it. We gave basically full access to the whole community to go, hey, you guys want to list somewhere? Reach out to them. Reach out to them. Let us know if you make a contact. We'll fully support you in any which way you want. Just everyone just needs to essentially do work at the end of the day. Have fun and do work. You guys want to get listed? Go for it. Yeah, we are 110% supportive, and that's why I keep saying like this project hits different. It just feels so different to me, and that's why I'm just like such a huge fan of it.
Yeah, we all kind of like work together. It's really cool.
Awesome. This is great to hear, and definitely have that nice communal feeling to it. Well, questions are kind of starting to loop a little bit. Do you guys want to add something before we wrap this up?
I'll let you go, Jordan. Maybe you got anything?
I'm not very good at this.
Now, again, I think I'm just gonna say, like, again, well, number one, StealthEX, thank you all so much for doing this, because this is like really does mean like a whole lot. I really do enjoy this. This is not something any of us are really accustomed to. At the end of the day, we're just people, regular people that just came together in a community and trying to build something together. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be able to speak today, and to the PepeCoin community, like the frogs here.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for joining. It was a pleasure, and definitely I sure learned a lot about the PepeCoin ecosystem, and I'm sure the users did as well. As I said earlier, we will be posting recaps, both audio, likely YouTube video, and a text one, so everyone will be able to catch up. I wish X soundboard we had the frog sound, but it doesn't. But anyways, I'll give you guys a round of applause. That's well deserved. All right, guys. It was a pleasure. Have a great rest of your day, morning, evening, wherever you guys are. I guess if you guys US, it's probably morning for you, morning-ish.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Once again, thank
Awesome.
you guys for joining. It's been a pleasure, and let's keep in touch. And thanks for everybody,
Thank you so much.
for all the listeners for coming today.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Talk to you later.
Cheers.
Have a good day. Bye.